The Legends Badge, ladies and gentlemen, a symbol of endgame status in Marvel Contest of Champions to let people know that you have an iPhone, far too many units to spend on suicide masteries, boosts and also energy refills, and also that you might be an okay player at this video game. So everybody wants the Legends Badge, ladies and gentlemen, but they are getting increasingly more deeper into the game and competitive to get. So what I wanted to do, because I get so many questions about Legends badges and how to get Legends and all my tips and tricks on my live streams, is today I wanted to make a fairly comprehensive video sharing all of the tips and tricks in the current state of the game to get Legends, how to get a foot over everybody else, and also talking about, you know, how to get it, what to keep in mind, and also stuff that you need to be aware of when going for a Legends run. So ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, let's get up the How to Get Legends guide. I'm going to start off with the first chapter, which is, am I ready for a Legends run? So I think there are 4 things that you need to bypass before you personally are ready for a Legends run. Before you even look at the checklist, and this is the 4. The first one is, have you completed Act 5 100%? If you haven't, you should do that before for the T5 Basic to get your first rank 5 5-star character, and also because your units are going to be better spent there than on a cosmetic badge, because the rewards for Act 5 100% are insane, and equally the same thing for the have you done at least an initial run in Labyrinth of Legends, because again, if you haven't, then the units are going to be better allocated there, because that's going to get you T2 Alpha and a ton of T4 CC. Then we go on to the third criteria. So you've done Act 5, you've done your initial run in Labyrinth of Legends, ideally 100% though, because again, this is something that is purely cosmetic and just good to get at the end of the game. The point number 3 is, are you a sick beast at playing this goddamn clown fiesta of a video game? Because if you're not, ladies and gentlemen, if your parries aren't buttery smooth, if you are not stinking of perfect intercepts, then you are going to be at a disadvantage when it comes to Legends. And the final one is, are you prepared for the salt of the servers crashing when you're 80% through your Legends run? Now, again, this is something ideally, hopefully you can avoid, but in the last month, you know, we haven't seen a server crash. I believe it's been like 10 days since the servers last crashed. Maybe not that quite long, but you know, we've had a lot of crashes in the last month of the game, in the last few months, so the servers can crash anytime, and it might be during your mid-Legends run, and you might waste a lot of units and your boosts, and you might be very, very salty. So just keep that in mind, because that has killed the enthusiasm and hype of many a player in the past. So that is always the risk when going for a Legends run. And if the answer is yes to all of the above questions, then you are probably ready for a Legends run, ladies and gentlemen. So let's go through the checklist. Now, a Legends run is a race against any other player that is going for a Legends run. So you need to think about this in terms of a running race. So I know a lot of people, when going through this checklist, people are going to say, oh, see, and I don't have this or this. Will I still be able to do a Legends run? Can you win a sprint with a dodgy knee? It depends who else is running. There's absolutely no way of telling. But the best thing you should do if you want to spend the units on the energy refills, if you want to use your most valuable boost for this, is make sure you are fully prepared to run that race as fast as you possibly can. So that's the best thing you can do when being kitted out for a Legends run. Make sure you are 100% prepared, do absolutely everything you can. And what is absolutely everything you can? So the first thing is, ideally you want to have a high burst damage rank 5 5-star champion. However, people have been known to still get Legends with 5-star rank 4s at the moment. Like that's quite common, but again, having an additional rank on your high bursty character is obviously going to be quite a nice advantage. And next up we have, you want to have 30% attack and health boosts, ideally 4 of them. Can you use the 20% one Seatin? You can, but again, you're going to be disadvantaged in comparison to the people using the 30% ones. And then Ideally, if you want to super hardcore secure this, there are also 4 times of the 20% attack boosts, which stack with the 30% attack and health ones, and these last an hour. But again, I've heard of many people doing a Legends run without having this one on top as well. For the lower attack boost, because there are some lower ones that last about 15 minutes, half an hour, maybe for some of the final Master chapters, but again, you know, if you're having to refresh an attack boost every 15 minutes, then that's probably eating into your time as well. So not super good to keep in mind. Now, the next thing you want to have is 4 suicide masteries. So you want liquid courage, double edge, willpower, and you also want to custom build your mastery setup for your Legends run to maximize the damage of whatever character you're trying to use. So let's say you are trying to use a Stark-Enhanced Spider-Man, and usually you have points in stuff like Deep Wounds and Mystic Dispersion. Well, maybe you don't need the points in those masteries for that run, so it's kind of, you know, figure out like what character you're using, figure out if there are any masteries that they don't benefit from, and then don't put points in those masteries and shift it. Even if it's just a little bit more attack, put the mastery points in that. Again, you are trying to focus usually on one character in particular, so yeah, keep that in mind. And you also want to make sure you have between 1,400 and 1,600 units. Generally will go on energy refills. Again, it really does depend on the monthly event quest, because we have seen so many different like layouts and setups this year. But if you want to be safe, make sure you have over 2,000 units, so that's what I recommend. And the last thing is you ideally want to have an iPhone 8 or an iPhone X, because those are the 2 devices that have at the moment by far the quickest loading times. So if you maybe don't have one of those devices, maybe you could borrow them off a friend or family member potentially, but you want to make sure you have the absolute quickest loading time device. So yeah, an iPhone 8 and an iPhone X will put you again even further ahead of the pack at a really good advantage there. Now, I would say these 5 characters I would often classify as generally the best Legends options for a lot of the monthly event quests. So we got a Stark-Enhanced Spider-Man, we got Medusa, Corvus Glaive, Blade, and Gwenpool. I think Stark, Spidey, and Corvus and Medusa have some very high immediate burst, and you know you can fully make like an Inhumans team around Medusa with Karnak and Black Bolt to really beef her up more. But again, who are the best options will vary greatly depending on the month and the challenge, what kind of characters are in there. So that's something that you always need to scout out a little bit before, and we'll talk about that in a second. So the most common way to get fastest to get Legends is the fastest 100 people every single month to 100% Heroica Master on the monthly event quest will gain the Legends title. So this is the rat race that goes on every single month. So what you need to know is the timer starts as soon as you enter your first quest on either Heroic or Master, and the timer finishes when you 100% both. And you've got 14 days or 2 weeks from the release to get in your Legends time. So what to do in preparation for this, if you are looking to go for it in the monthly event quest, is you want to do uncollected 100% first. You want to memorize the map layouts and amount of paths in every single chapter, so that you are consciously fully aware of what you have to navigate coming up. You also want to learn any new monthly opponents, and also be fully confident with their animations and aware of any potential abilities that maybe might screw over your top champion. So yeah, just make sure you essentially learn your stuff about the new monthly event and also the new characters, and also give it at least a week for any insane interactions, tips, or combos to come out that could be used to your advantage on a Legends run. So, you know, essentially just take the time to do uncollected for yourself and watch all of the video guides and any interesting stuff around the monthly event and new characters that does arise on YouTube, because that's going to give you the biggest possible advantage there. But also in terms of, you know, the best way to navigate a lot of the quests I've found is just stick to you know, one quest and 100% that, and then move on 100% instead of, you know, going for a straight line through the chapter and then going back to the start and having to do all that stuff over again. I mean, it's a little bit debatable, but just in my personal opinion, it is best to repeat the maps that you have done, so you're fully aware, especially when it gets to Master, when there's a little bit of fighting to do, so that you're fully confident, you're used to, you have that repetition of fighting like the same bosses over and over again. So yeah, 100% each chapter, chapter by chapter, and that's pretty much it. So yeah, you know, you get your rank 5 super bursty champion, you chuck on suicides, the 30% attack and health boosts, and you just absolutely hammer it through. And generally, the times for Legends runs in the event quest, because I know somebody's probably going to ask this, you know, what time should I aim for? And it's really, really hard to tell, because every single event quest that we've had has been quite a bit different in terms of the time. Like, for example, the one that we had last month with Infinity War Thanos, where they took out the whole of the final, like, 7-lane chapter, and you just had Thanos. That made Legends runs substantially shorter last month, so we've seen runs that were 2 and a bit hours. However, like, usually, I think some of the fastest times on the kind of average month event that has, like, 7 lanes in the final chapter usually come out at about 3 and a bit hours, so just over 3 hours. But again, you know, it really does depend and vary greatly on the layout of the monthly event quest there. So it's like you've got to play by ear, and after, you know, the first week, if you've waited, you'll probably see like a few times on the forums and have like a few times to beat there. So yeah, keep that in mind. And next up, we also have celebrity challenges, which are an additional way to gain legends. And this one works in the format of fastest to 100% the entire challenge. And what to know is timer starts as soon as you enter the challenge, timer finishes once the whole challenge is 100%. But celebrity challenges also vary significantly in terms of nodes and characters. You have to look at each challenge individually as well as your roster to figure out whether or not you are likely to have the potential for a Legends run. So this month one is like a really, really great example of that, because this month's one like has a node which basically means you only want to use the super large characters, like the Hulk sized characters, and also characters that have like really, really powerful heavy attacks. So the kind of best characters for like this month's Legends run is kind of a combination of like Red Hulk and Archangel, in my opinion. So yeah, it's just kind of figuring out the celebrity challenges one by one when they do come up. But yeah, for the celebrity challenges, you have the entire month to do them. You're not limited to 2 weeks, so you can wait until one of the final weeks. But again, my advice is watch full runs of the challenges and guides on YouTube, and also be aware of the layout. Give it at least a week for any insane interactions, tips, or combos to come out that you could be used to your advantage on a Legends run, and also be very careful when navigating this that you're always taking the next path of it instead of going to the final boss. So you usually want to snake around to ensure you 100% every single chapter while you're on it, to avoid, you know, going back and having to fight like the same easy boss multiple times, because that could really, really eat into your Legends run. But for the celebrity challenges, again, it does vary greatly depending on the times, but usually it's somewhere like just over an hour for a lot of Legends run cutoffs on the celebrity challenges. But again, there is so much variance when it comes to both of these. And yeah, just be aware that shit happens. Servers could crash, your internet could crash, so be aware of any of those when going for a Legends run. And as you know, we are covering on the checklist earlier, like, this is going to cost you, man. It's going to cost you the boost. It's going to cost you, if you don't already have Suicide Masteries, you'll need to unlock them, and you also need the units for the energy refills. So it is something that is going to be potentially expensive to do. You can get screwed over in it, which is a super, super lame time. So yeah, make sure that this is at the very, very bottom of your progression path in Marvel Contest of Champions. Once you've done everything else in the game and you literally just have units to burn, then Legends Run is kind of something that you should, you know, maybe look at if you're interested in the cosmetic title. But again, at the end of the day, ladies and gentlemen, it is just a cosmetic title, which also, you know, it looks quite swag, and also means that if you type in chat, you get like red messages instead. So just to show you, you know, an example of this, Kabam are the best company in the world. Let's go for this. So you can see it's a little bit darker in comparison to everybody else's. So when you go in global chat, everybody's going to think you're a little bit special. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the Legends Run and guide. Make sure if you are going for the Legends Run, ladies and gentlemen, you tick all of the boxes. And again, don't waste the units unnecessarily. So ladies and gentlemen, if this guide helped you out today, feel free to smash that like button. That'd be greatly appreciated. If you have any additional tips and tricks that I may have left off, feel free to leave them in the comments section below. If you have recently recently got a Legends badge and would like to share some of your personal advice, again, leave that in the comments below as well. I'm not saying as well, just to further clarify, that these are the only characters that can get a Legends run. You know, I'm sure there are plenty of other characters that have the potential to as well. These are the ones that I would just generally consider the best option for kind of a big, immediate, bursty damage. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching today's video. If you enjoyed it, feel free to smash that like button. Apart from that, take care and have an absolutely fantastic day.